Welcome to the Joe Show, wherever you may be streaming Radio GBX. My name is Joe. Joining me tonight, my co-host Grace and special local artist, Sinner in the Saint. How you guys feeling tonight?
Doing great.
I'm doing good.
Excited to be here.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for coming. Would you guys like to introduce yourself? We could probably start from the left.
Yeah, sure. I'm Natalie. I'm the keyboard player with the Sinner in the Saint.
I'm Brant. I play guitar and I sing in the Sinner in the Saint.
I'm Nick. I play bass and also sing.
I'm Tom. I play drums.
Awesome. So, tell me about you guys. Where you guys from? Are you guys all from Green Bay?
Actually, Brant and I grew up in Marinette, about an hour north of here. But
Okay.
we ended up both coming down to college, being roommates in college here. And yeah, started the band shortly after college. So
Yeah, that's how we met Tom too.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm originally from the Milwaukee area, but I moved up, came to college here, and I met Brant through college, and also Tom, and then met Nick eventually through Brant too.
Okay. So y'all met in college. Is that kind of where the band kind of started and formed there? Or?
Pretty much. I would say because me, Nick, and Tom lived together, we kind of knew that each of us did music. And then it was after I left college, I met Natalie through an open mic night here. And I was just like, hey, starting a band with this guy. And eventually Tom joined on after our previous drummer left. And yeah, that's kind of where it all started.
That's awesome. So, do you guys play any other instruments besides the one you guys play in the band?
Yeah, I mean, I play guitar. I kind of started on bass, went to guitar for a couple other bands, and then decided bass was where I wanted to be in this band. So it worked out for me there.
And then I actually went to GB for music, and my main instrument was French horn.
Okay.
So I got to work with Michelle, who I think is still
Yeah,
here.
I know Michelle.
Yeah, Michelle's cool. And then I played trumpet and bass guitar in the jazz band. So yeah.
Yeah, I played clarinet in the college band here, and I also play ukulele. I also I sing too, but then I was the lead guitar player for the first year that we were doing this, so I just kind of picked it up for this. I don't really play it anymore, but yeah, I was doing that for a while with the Sinner and the Saint.
And then Tom, you played other stuff, right? You played some other stuff.
Yeah. I also play guitar, bass, and theremin.
You also sing.
Wow.
And sing.
You don't like to sing.
I don't. Do we consider that an instrument? I guess.
I mean, some people would. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, what kind of inspires you guys to make the music you guys make?
Great question. I mean, a lot of it stemmed from me listening to bands that I found in college, and stuff like Weezer, the Front Bottoms, Modern Baseball kind of inspired me to make music. Just because sometimes I was never really confident with my voice, so listening to bands that weren't always perfect with their voice kind of helped me go, hey, maybe I could do this. Because these three are actually way better singers than I am. And I sing on 80% of the song, 90% of the songs. So I don't know where that came from. But yeah, a lot of the inspiration is from those kind of bands and the pop rock. And then we play with a lot of bands that are really cool and inspire us a lot, like bands from Oshkosh, Milwaukee, Madison, bands that we met in Ohio this past year. So our music kind of goes all over the place, but stays kind of in a central kind of style also at the same time. So
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm gonna pass the microphone over to Grace here. Give some more questions.
Okay. So this is the part I like to call the fun questions. They're not scary, I promise.
they're fun.
I'm not gonna bite. So the one thing that I'm curious about is every band has a good story behind the band name. There's a reason or whatever. And that's my burning question is where did you guys come up with the name? Or how? Is there a story behind it?
There's a little story behind it. So I when I was at GB, one of our friends left their acoustic guitar here. And in our dorm, and I just was like, "Hey, you mind if I play that and learn how to play guitar?" And so I started just playing it, and then I actually worked on a song with Tom because Tom does really good electronic music and he's a really good producer. He's producing all of our new stuff and it's sounding great. Um, and I recorded something and I thought it would be funny because it was just me to do like an Owl City thing where it's like it sounds like a band, but it's literally one dude. And the name The Sinner and the Saint just derives from like basically the good and the bad. And because it's one person, there's good aspects to me and there's bad aspects to me.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where the whole name came from. And then as more members started getting added, it was like, oh, it's just a band name now. It didn't have any meaning aside from, you know, the one person being both the sinner and the saint. So we've gotten questions like people have asked us, like, who's the sinner and who's the saint in the band? And we're like, oh, I mean, I guess kind of all of us, like, you know, it's just, it kind of changed from that. So not really a crazy story, but
Still interesting though.
yeah,
Yeah.
it had to appear somewhere. So.
All right. So this question, the next one that I have, unless all of you guys have the same answer to this one, but so we're gonna start on the right this time. And sorry, dude, I'm making you talk. So the question that I have for each of you guys is, do you have a favorite song of yours that you like to perform and why?
That is a good question. Let me look.
Oh,
We can pass the mic to the next person if you need a minute. Yeah.
Probably it's not released yet, but it's going to be our next single coming out soon. It's called Hey. We have been playing it almost 2 years now, I think, but we played it the first time we performed it live at down in Madison at a show we called Homie Fest, and the crowd went absolutely like ballistic, and it was probably like one of the most fun shows we've ever played. But ever since then, it just seems to get the crowd going, and I just have a lot of good memories with that one.
Yeah, that one definitely is one of my favorites to play as well. It's just like if the crowd isn't feeling it and like they're a crowd that's known for moving, like that song will probably get them moving. So, but if I were to say like another one, probably our other single, Dance Floor, just because it's so fun to just like play the parts. And then there's the middle part where Nick and I kind of go back and forth, and it's nice to just kind of do stuff like that where we kind of go off each other kind of thing. So Tom, do you guys?
Yeah, I got to figure it out.
Okay.
Of the old stuff, Look Alive Punk, by far the most fun for me to play on the drums. And then of the new stuff,
we're talking new.
Okay, people haven't heard yet, so it isn't even relevant. Probably Scientist. We play that. We've been playing it at shows for forever. So I mean,
Scientist.
But yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, I definitely really like Hey. That one's super fun. And then I also really like playing Cherry because I get to Weezer everybody. Yeah.
Any song where you can Weezer somebody, I think, is a good song to choose.
Yeah, it's fun.
All right, so this is kind of a question for like all of you, unless you each you have a different take. But tell me about an artist you would like to collaborate with in the future and why. So like your dream collab, if you had to pick anybody. Like whether they're small or they're big, like I know some of like Natalie, you like Fall Out Boy and everything. Like, you know, it can be big or small. It honestly doesn't matter. Like your dream.
That's a hard question because I think all of us kind of live in different realms of music, like the same kind of area, but like very, very different bands in that same kind of vein.
I mean, I would say for me personally, a band that's doing really good right now, they actually just played in Madison, I think, last night, is Cheek Face. I think of all the bands that kind of sound unique and stuff like that, we kind of fit their billing.
Yeah.
Aside from that, I'd like, if I'm going to go as high as possible, I'd love to be able to open for Weezer.
Yeah.
Before they call it quits, which I don't know if they're going to do anytime soon. But yeah, those would be my choices.
Yeah.
You got something, Natalie? Do you want to?
I mean, if I ever got the chance to work with Haley Williams, I would simply pass away. Yeah, I like Paramore's like one of my favorite bands, like, you know, Fall Out Boy too, but like I don't know, I take a lot of inspiration from Haley Williams, like, and like their Paramore style and everything. So yeah, that would definitely be like the top one. And then if I had to pick like any sort of like local or like DIY band, I don't know, like Ben Quad is super freaking cool. They're from Oklahoma, I think. And yeah, they're just a really awesome DIY band. Definitely like a little bit bigger, but still like in the same realm of stuff that we do. God, it would be so cool to do something with them.
Tom, you got one? You
Sure.
yeah, you got.
Why not? I'm gonna have to split it up. So like electronic bass would be Fred again, and then actual like band. I don't know. I guess realistically would probably be Radiohead.
Nice.
Oh, Fortet would be a third one. Those are my top three.
Okay.
Yeah, our music genres are all over the place.
I respect that.
Yeah. I would go for, I think I'd say this every time, but The Wonder Years. just
Yeah, they're
'cause
good.
I love Dan Campbell, the singer. He's just got a way with words that he makes such a vivid picture that I aspire to be like that, and I don't think I will ever hit that, but here we are, you know.
This guy, too modest.
And then each of you can answer if you want. You don't have to. It's completely up to you. But what is the best piece of advice another musician has ever given you? Or that, you know, like, I don't know. I had a brain fart there for a minute, but you get the gist of the question, I think.
Oh boy.
I think I'll start. All right, if anybody.
Yeah, you go.
Our friend Bill Block, who is in Radio for Pets, he told us, we used to be in a band with them called 4-5 Dive, and he also used to be in a different band within New Hope, maybe some band from Marinette, Menominee, but they actually opened up for The Devil Wears Prada at the rave like
Wow.
15, 20 years ago. I don't even know, long time ago. And he kind of passed on this advice to us, where people are going to show up to that show and not like The Devil Wears Prada could have showed up and been drunk or high on stage and still freaked out and had a great time. So
Yeah.
they had to, they had to play their hearts out to try to attract anybody. So just bring it all onto the stage, leave it all on the stage. It's kind of the point of that. But that they had talked to, I forget the singer's name from The Devil Wears Prada, but that's kind of advice that he gave to him and passed to us. So
Yeah, I think just the idea of, even if there's like nobody at the show, just play your hearts out, because
Yeah.
it still ends up being fun. Like, playing music is fun, and that's like half the reason we're doing it in the first place. Yeah, I would say that, or like one band from Chicago, formerly Indiana, Arcadia Gray. They told me, they were like, because I was looking at like, labels and stuff like that, and they made a comment, and they were like, don't worry about labels, especially if you're like making music, because like those will come. Like, it's not going to be, you're going to play music and people are going to like it. Even if you make the best music in the world and a ton of people like it, there's still a possibility that the label's just not going to care.
Yeah.
So it comes down to, like, we make kind of weird-ish music sometimes, and it's not going to be for everyone. But at the same time, like, if one person enjoys it, that's all I really need personally. You got anything?
I can't think of anything off the top of my head. I'm not gonna lie.
You got anything?
Have you been told any advice, Tom?
I guess the one thing I could say would be like, that kind of is what I do, is just like, you pretty much like do music because you enjoy it and you do it for yourself. Like, you shouldn't worry about anyone else and their perspective on it and how they interpret it, or if they enjoy it or not. As long as you're enjoying doing the music yourself and people see that you're having fun, people respect it a lot more.
Yeah. All right, that's all I have for now. Unless you want me to ask that one. Do we have time for it?
Yeah, if you want to.
I mean, otherwise I can wait for that one.
Just go ahead. You
All
want
right.
to ask?
Okay. This is one I've been like itching. I was debating if I wanted to ask it because it's kind of like an out there question. But collectively, as a band, if you were planning a dinner party, you had 10 open seats left, who would you pick to join you, whether they were alive or dead? It's
feel
such
like
an
two people
evil
to invite?
question.
10
open
people?
seats.
Yes.
10
That's a
people.
lot.
Yeah, the thing with that question is we're all gonna have different answers,
And
so
that's
we'd all
okay.
have to like figure out
We-
collectively.
We can like each pick 2 people.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Then we'll have like 2 like just random like whoever we're feeling.
Yeah. See what I mean? It's so
That's
random.
That's a good one though.
Thank you.
Oh. I'd probably pick Chester Bennington
Yep.
from Linkin Park would be a good one. Just because I think just knowing what makes his brain or what made his brain tick.
Yeah.
And then I'd probably pick just out of one from my childhood and the music that I grew up with, probably like Paul McCartney.
Yeah.
Because he was one of the reasons that I started playing bass guitar, and then probably one of the reasons why I'm doing this in the first place. So,
Yeah.
yeah. It's a tough question.
I know.
I was just like thinking
I
about it.
want to pick your brains a
Yeah.
little bit.
Sonny Moore
Yeah.
and Johnny Greenwood.
Yeah, I already name dropped one, but Dan Campbell from the Wonder Years for
Yep.
sure. And then I'd probably pick Michael Jackson. Like my dad was a huge Michael Jackson fan growing up, so like I grew up with that music like always in the house. So I don't know, and some of that music, like he was never like a formally trained musician, so I'd love to see kind of where that came from. Obviously, like he grew up doing music, but he was never like trained on instruments. He just kind of felt the flow and
Yeah.
wrote music that way. So it'd be an interesting conversation, minus all the other alleged stuff.
Yes.
Like I said earlier, any opportunity to like interact with Haley Williams would like make me fall out of my chair. So like her for sure. And then I'm literally stuck on like a second person because I'm just like there's like too many people.
I feel like you would want to meet Patrick Stump.
I'm torn between him and Pete Wentz. I would also love to meet Pete Wentz.
Literally, I had that same thought. I'm like, that's exactly what you would pick.
I mean, I would love to like meet the entire band, but like
Oh, yeah.
you have to like pick one of them. Like, oh god, yeah, one of those two.
yeah.
Like Slater would have 2 people if we're talking 10 between the 5 of us.
Who do you think Slater would pick? Should we just brainstorm who Slater would pick?
Slater, somebody from a horror movie. He would probably pick Tim Curry.
Okay.
Tim Curry.
Yeah.
Rocky Horror. He'd be in on that.
Who's the guy who directed The Thing? I feel like he would be.
I have no idea. Who
Oh my
directed the
goodness.
thing. I'm not a big movie buff, but he is. He loves horror movies. Oh yeah, he was also It, the original It.
Yeah, Tim Curry. Yeah.
Tim Curry, yeah.
Also, I think he'd just be fun.
Yeah.
I'd ask him to do the space thing where he goes space.
I don't think didn't he? Let's not get into it.
Um,
He won't do it. That's
oh god, I don't know who else. Just a random person.
Michael J. Fox.
Michael J. Fox. All right.
Yeah,
We got
I
the
mean,
last person. Perfect.
That's a very interesting round table. I like it.
We have Sin the Saint here with us. You guys doing?
This is fun.
Yes.
Having
Yeah.
some interesting conversations behind the scenes, that's for sure.
Yeah. How much of that was recorded?
None of it.
Okay.
But we're recording now, so
Okay.
live on air. I want to go back to some music questions with you guys. Like, talking about like you guys band. So, what is like your creative process when you guys like write music together?
I'll dive
That
in.
look
Okay.
on your face.
Usually, I mean, Brant kind of takes the brunt of it, I guess. He, being mostly the lead singer of the band, kind of comes up with the main idea, like the catchy part of the song, and then brings it to us, and we'll kind of workshop, what kind of comes next. Like, okay, how do we incorporate that into the other instruments, or like, and I don't know, even now since we've been recording, Tom has been adding some different things that we're probably going to start incorporating into the live music, but it all kind of from the moment of being written to the time it comes out, we're never really finished writing the song, I guess. Like it's always kind of evolving in that way. But
Yeah, I feel like at least when it comes to like I like to write stuff on acoustic guitar. I just start writing on acoustic guitar because that's the easiest thing for me. And then I'll like record it on my phone or whatever. And normally when I bring it to the practice space, it's like, okay, can we just keep it in these chords? Like just because it's easier for me to sing, or that I like the way that this sounds. And usually we do that. I think there's only been a couple of instances where we've maybe changed the key and stuff like that when we get to the practice space, just because it feels better. But then, yeah, once my stuff is kind of out of the way, because the rhythm guitar and all that, I'm basically like, okay, well, whatever you guys want to do on this. I think there's only been a couple of instances where I was like, hey, Nick, I have an idea for a bass part, or we have an idea for a key part or something like that. And then Tom kind of just does the drum part and just kind of comes up with it all. Like we don't pressure him too much on coming up with ideas for that regard. But yeah, you basically just come up with whatever, and it usually ends up fitting because I mean Tom's a great drummer. It's been really easy to adapt that kind of stuff. And then even Slater couldn't make it tonight, but even sometimes I'm like, hey Slater, I have kind of an idea. And then immediately in his brain, he's like, I kind of have an idea too. And then for some reason, he knows what idea I was going to tell him to do, which is nice. But it's yeah, again, the writing process, it just kind of starts with like a skeletal frame and then kind of builds out from there just to see. Because like Natalie has harmonies that she comes up with, or Nick has harmonies, and or the key parts and stuff like that. It's been really nice to do it that way. I think with stuff in the future, I'm gonna kind of just whatever we come up with together, rather than me just like sitting in a corner of a room just like playing acoustic guitar. I would much rather just kind of see how weird it can get and how fun it can get if we just kind of all just do whatever. So, but yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you talk about like your other band member that's not here, Slater. Would you mind whoever wants to like talk about like what instrument does he play?
He plays the lead guitar.
Okay. Yeah.
He's in a couple other bands.
Okay.
He plays bass in another band and he sings, and he's very talented at what he does. We saw him play, what was that, a couple weeks ago? It was like 2 weeks ago, right?
Oh, at the
Modern Haunting gig,
EP
yeah.
release show. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. He played with his band.
And hearing him play live, like it's crazy. Like I said, he's a better singer than I am, and he's not singing in the band. So it's like it's one of those things where I think each of us is very talented in our own right, and we come up with stuff and just kind of build upon what we got going. So
Yeah. You guys seem like you have a really good teamwork together, and just like especially working with some of these songs, you guys. The new song that you have too, that we put on here, Dance Floor, will be airing that up next actually.
Cool.
But we also have I have a few more music questions. I want to kind of talk about like some few bands that you guys were interested in, like Paramore. What like influences that you guys have when you guys making music? Do you pull from any other favorite bands?
I think a lot of it is, again, we, from what I talked about before with like Weezer and stuff like that, or just the bands that we play with. We have so many friends that have kind of inspired us to do different things, which we end up doing kind of like a power pop, but like emo, and then we add just whatever random genre. We do a genre blending kind of thing, which has been kind of like our bread and butter for coming up with ideas, because it's like we'll write a song and then all of a sudden it'll do a complete 180 to something completely different that nobody expects. So I think a lot of the bands that we play with like heavier bands, we play with softer bands, we play with like indie rock, like chill wave, shoegaze. Like we've played with a progressive band, progressive rock band. Is it Goat Wizard?
yeah,
Yeah. So like, and they would do like screaming over like really technical guitar parts and stuff like that, and we're like, okay, that's what we're, and so stuff like that. We're not afraid to like veer into weird genres that maybe we don't normally do. That's Dance Floor, for one, turned from the Front Bottoms ripoff to basically adding a funk bit to it, where Nick has the main like that bass riff on there, and then it just kind of turned into its own beast to where it is different and unique and it's fun to play. So
Yeah, that's awesome. So like you guys perform like a few other stages. Is like a favorite stage or
Lyric Room.
yeah,
Yeah.
Rest in
man.
peace.
All right.
Man, okay. Well, not
You can say it.
Well, that sounds like really familiar. Like, where is?
so Lyric Room. I don't know how much.
Let's not.
Yeah, we're not going to get into.
It's a Green Bay stage.
Oh, okay.
We won't get into the details, but
Gotcha.
don't play there if you respect the local music scene.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was a cool place. Shout out to the former like owners and the former sound people, everything. They made that place like they brought us in when we were just a 4-piece with Natalie on lead guitar, like really early on, and we were playing
our
there.
first show there, actually.
I think we played like our first show, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Things just didn't work
things
out.
happen, and
Yeah.
we're gonna respect ourselves and just kind of do what we've been doing. But I think Lyric Room was really great. Obviously at the tracks we've been playing recently. Shout out to them for having us on these shows in Green Bay. And then I know we played JJ's in Milwaukee a couple of times, and even when nobody shows up to see us, it's still fun because it's basement shows are just fun. Just they're sweaty, they're a little rowdy, and and then the Wausau show. What was that was?
I don't want to say what it was. It was the Pollock Inn.
Yeah.
Hold on. I think it's Pollock. It doesn't matter. Whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's either the Pollock Inn or the Pollock Inn, whatever it is, I guess. But that was a crazy show there. Everybody, we had that room filled up and everybody was sweating and jumping and like going crazy for 3 hours straight.
Yeah, and they announced that show a week before it happened.
Yeah.
So like it was great. We hope to be back there. We'd love to head back there because that was absolutely nuts for the fact that they were like, yeah, there's a show in a week, guys. Hope you show up. And then the whole place was packed and it was nuts and people stuck around for us. So that was cool.
So speaking of shows, do you have any upcoming concert venue shows that you'll be doing?
Yeah, we have Milwaukee. We are at Club Kramer. And then
on May 11th.
On May 11th, yes.
Saturday, May 11th.
Saturday, May 11th. That's coming up very soon. And then we have June 21st is our next gig. It's going to be at the tracks with our friends Bottom Bracket from Chicago. They're coming up. So that'll be fun. And then we have a bunch of shows lined up in the future that I don't know how much I can talk about because some of it's a little still in the works, but couple fests and stuff like that. So really excited for those.
That's awesome. And you guys, are you working on any more new music too that you can talk about?
We have, the new single that I mentioned earlier, Hey, is going to be coming out on May 17th. It's nice that Tom is our producer because we can kind of just sit down with him and record. So we're always working on stuff. There might be something popping up in the near future here, but May 17th for the next single.
Yeah, you heard it here first.
That's awesome. Stay tuned.
Happy we've been able to be here and chat with you guys.
Yeah.
It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah. So where can we find your music? Like, what are you guys? You're on every platform, and
I think everything.
Yeah, we should be on every platform. I've still yet to be able to find us on Pandora though. But
what?
I mean, nobody uses Pandora though.
Huh.
I used to.
I mean, I used to too,
Yeah.
but like now that we have Spotify and Apple and YouTube Music, like nobody uses Pandora anymore.
But I think we are on literally everything.
Look for The Sinner and the Saint. There's another electronic band from Europe that has the same name. So make sure you're looking at the one with like we got balloons on Spotify as like our photo. It looks like I don't know, The Sinner and the Saint with a bunch of like colorful balloons behind it.
Yeah.
I don't know about Apple Music or Tidal or YouTube is Sinner Saint WI.
Yeah.
That's our YouTube channel.
Yeah, we're all over the place.
Do you guys have any other like social media that you guys promote onto? Or?
Yeah, we have our basically if you search Sinner Saint WI on literally anything, I've kind of kept it the same throughout. So we're on Instagram. We are most active on Twitter if you want to see me meme and post really stupid stuff.
We gotta get you on Threads instead, dude.
I was on
Not
Threads.
not an Elon stan.
Yeah, that's right. But no, if you want to see memes and stuff, look on Twitter. If you can look at show updates, we have them on everything: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, pretty much everywhere. I just try to keep updated with it. So,
That's awesome. Do you guys have any other things you'd like to say, promote?
I guess. One, we talked about the new single coming out on the 17th, May 17th. That's going to feature this guy singing. It's going to be really cool. It's a really good song, and we're very proud of that song and everything else that we're working on. And expect even more music in the next few months because we've been working really hard on this stuff. And that guy in the corner that doesn't like to talk also has been working very hard, and we respect him for everything that he does.
Go listen to Modern Haunting. Natalie plays keys in Modern Haunting, another local band. Tom's in the Vibe Center. Ramona and the Flower. Slater, who isn't here with us, he's in Choke and the Slater Smet Band. All local stuff, all lots of good stuff. We're busy. We're the least busy.
Yeah.
Dude, Stalgic's dead.
Rest in peace, Stalgic. No, seriously, look, just any Green Bay bands that exist. Radio for Pets, Scary Canaries aren't necessarily Green Bay anymore. Just listen to all them too, because the music scene in Green Bay, there's so many talented musicians here. Sherry Lane too.
Sherry Lane.
Yeah, they've been a little quiet. I think they're working on something.
Local
right now,
faves. I love them.
But yeah, and we're just happy to be along the ride with all of them. So yeah.
That's awesome. Just want to say thank you guys for joining us tonight, and it's been a great show.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Thank you for having us.
Yeah. I hope you guys travel safe, and thank you for everything that, you guys doing some great work, and got a lot of cool stuff coming up, and, great music.
Thank you. Yeah, this is a really cool setup you guys have here too. So it's definitely a unique experience for us so far. So thank you very much.
Thank you
for doing it.
No, this was a lot of fun, and all the questions were really fun to answer. Even the one that we were really stuck on. But yeah, honestly, this was an absolute blast, and it's good being here.
It's awesome. Well, we'll stay tuned, and we'll get every Wednesday, first month, every Wednesday we have local artists here. Coming up next week, we also have another show with one of my friends, Presley, on May 8th. If you haven't missed this show, you can check it out on YouTube later. We'll put your links in the description too. So follow us on Radio GBX YouTube and hit the like button. We'd like to get some more content. Hopefully, we'll get other shows too on the radio here. But it's cool that you guys get to come here and we get to produce more content for radio because that's always fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, don't forget, check out Sit on the Saint, Spotify, all the other stream platforms, like they said. And,
not Pandora.
Yeah, not Pandora.
Yeah, look really hard. It might be there.
Yeah, somewhere hidden.
But yeah, thank you everyone for tuning in tonight. And now we're gonna turn it back to some music. Now the show is over.